Pronounce your name.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we live? Yes, I think we are. Excellent. Let us know in the chat if you guys can hear us and see us. Will you do that so we can just confirm that everybody is with us and that you got a sound and you got picture? Okay, let's see here. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. Am I doing something? Am I missing something, Abdul? Did you send me a chat right now?
No, I'm all good. I'm all
Oh, you
good.
didn't? Okay, it's not like a little pop-up thing came up here. Not sure.
I know.
I think it's just delayed, yeah.
Okay, let's see. I think we are live. Are we live? Can you guys see us and hear us? Let us know in the chat box, please. In the chat log. Okay, let me type in here. I don't think that.
There we go.
Okay, perfect. I think so. Okay, great. Wonderful. Welcome so much to welcome everyone to the Tuesday night hangout. We are live here. Welcome to everyone. Too many names here really to address you all by name, but we are so glad that you came on this Tuesday night hangout. This is Lena Bjorna here. I am hosting this webinar and I got three amazing marketers and leaders with me here. Abdul, Bob, and Lanacia. I can never say your name right. Say your name one more time.
It's Lanacia.
Lanacia, so pretty, and I got to get that right. Got to work on getting that right. So great. So like I said, we're 4 marketers here, 4 leaders here with you today, and we are here to share some of our best nuggets and strategies, what we are doing right now in our businesses to to get leads and signups and customers, so that you can take away some good value that you can apply to your own businesses, regardless of what business you're building. This is really applicable to any home business. And again, my name is Lena Bjorna, and I am coming to you from just outside of Los Angeles in Southern California. So I'm going to just go through the panel here one by one and just let everyone just kind of tell you who they are and where they're at, and we'll go from there. So I think we have Dr. Bob up right now on screen. So where are you at right now, Bob?
Hey, Lena. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm in Cresskill, New Jersey. We're kind of transitioning here from summer to another winter, so we're not very happy about that. But yeah, it's fantastic to be here. It's great to see so many people on the chat and on the hangout, and live the dream, baby. Live the dream is what I'm leaving at 2 days, so I'm super excited for that. It's gonna be a really fun time. So
yeah, me too. Going there. Yeah. So that's like the New York area, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, 50 miles from the George Washington Bridge. So.
Oh, okay, very good.
Right outside the city.
Very good. That puts you very nicely on the map when you put it like that. So excellent.
Exactly.
And then we got Abdul, who is
Hey guys,
where?
I'm all the way down in the UK, all the way across. It's 2 o'clock at night over here. But I'm still awake. I love these webinars, getting up at late night and doing my stuff. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen here tonight, and sharing some golden nuggets and listening to you guys, Bob, Lena, and Lanacia. I got that right this time. And just hearing what you guys can say as well.
Oh, don't be humble now. You are such an amazing leader. And I've been watching you, and you have so much good stuff. So I'll tell you a little bit. I want to just kind of mention how I met Abdul online here in just a little bit, because it's kind of interesting how we've developed this relationship actually on Facebook. And Abdul will be sharing some more of his social media marketing, Facebook strategies here in a little bit. But then we got Lanacia, trying hard here. And you are located where?
I am in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas. Wow, isn't that a nice place to live?
Oh yeah, we're originally from Dallas, Texas. We've been in Las Vegas for about almost 2.5 years now. So I love it out here.
Yeah, and it's like so many marketing events taking place there. So
Yeah.
you got like you step outside your door and basically there's another conference you can attend. It's just like perfect. So many big events and great things taking place there. So last time I saw you was back in June, I think, when I was at the No Excuses event.
Yeah.
I ran into you and your husband Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait
exactly.
for this weekend. This will be our first time speaking at Live the Dream, so
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. Trying to prepare. We leave in a day or so, so I'm ready. I'm excited. It's gonna be.
Excellent, excellent. So Live the Dream, I'm assuming probably most of the attendees know what that is, but if you don't know, it is a industry-wide event, really. It's not company specific. MLSP is the host of Live the Dream, and it's a MLSP is an educational platform, attraction marketing platform, system, and community that teaches you how to market professionally. And basically, it's how we all learn to market. And we are all part of the leadership with MLSP. And of course, that's what we're doing this hangout because we have the results and we want to share with you guys what's working for us in our businesses right now. But yeah, MLSP is the host of Live the Dream. And it's just a great place to go and connect and build relationships and learn new marketing strategies. And I always say that some of the best strategies you get when you have conversations with people in the hallway. Not even necessarily in the session, although that's obviously great stuff too. But you never know what you'll pick up when you run into somebody in the hallway and you just kind of start connecting and you start asking questions. So get yourself to live marketing events. I mean, there's just no substitute for it. But hopefully many of you are on here are going to be coming to Live the Dream this coming weekend, and we'll be seeing you there. And make sure you come up and say hi when you see us there. All right, so Lanacia, of course, I know her as part of the MLSP leadership, where we're both part of the MMT, okay, the part of the leadership with MMT. You are an L4 also, correct, Lanacia?
Yes, I'm an L4.
Yeah, so we are L4 leadership level, both of us with MLSP. So I, of course, know you from there, have known you from a little while back, since we both became part of the leadership with MLSP. Bob, I have known actually for years, several years. We were actually in a business together that neither one of us is in anymore. But so we kind of go way back and really built a great friendship just working with the same company together. And of course, that friendship and that relationship continued, even though we're not with that particular company anymore. So that's the thing, relationships are so valuable. Companies come and go, product lines come and go, sponsors come and go, but you know what, the relationship that you build, they will last, and you never know who you're going to end up working with, in a different venue, under different circumstances, doing trainings together like we're doing now. So as I say, always, always, always be building relationships. So Bob and I, we kind of go way back.
Yeah, we do.
At least a few years. That's kind of way back in the online marketing industry, I could say. So I look very much forward to hearing what Bob is going to be sharing here in a few minutes also. He really is an expert on how to build a profitable home business part-time while working a full-time job, and is really specialized in that and has some great strategies I know he's going to be sharing as well, some brand new stuff. So really looking forward to hearing from Bob here very shortly. And Abdul, who I think it's so cool that he is staying up at 2 o'clock in the morning over in the United Kingdom to be on this hangout. When I asked Abdul about a week ago if he would join me for this webinar and be a panelist, I said to him, I know it's kind of a crazy time for you. If you can't do it because of the time difference and all that, because I know he's got a family, got a little daughter and everything, I said, then, I totally understand. But he did not even think about it for a second. He was like, sure, I'm on. And that's really the way it was with all three of these guys. They didn't hesitate. They were like, sure, we'll join you. And that is what leaders do, you guys. That is what leaders do. They just do. You know, they just do. They don't think too much about it. They know when it's something that's going to help people, a chance to give value. They just jump on the opportunity, and they don't sit around and think about it too much or try to come up with excuses. So just so awesome how you guys were so willing and so ready to join me for this, and I really, really appreciate that. And I just wanted to say, just Abdul, I think it's so cool kind of how you and I connected. I don't even know where you came from or when I noticed you, but it can't have been more than, I don't know, maybe a couple of months. I don't know. How long have we been Facebook friends? Do you know?
Not very long, Lena. Yes, I'll say about 3 months probably, yeah.
So maybe 3 months, okay. And so what I noticed was just, well, first of all, here's this guy who's, you know, always like liking and commenting on my post, and he's giving value. You know, he's really sharing his thoughts and his opinions and his own little tips there. I saw that this was definitely a leader, somebody who was, you know, interacting, and I also noticed just this positive attitude, just like a really positive, genuine person. And but I still didn't really know who Abdul was. I didn't even know he also was with the same company with MLSP. Obviously, we have a lot of marketers here who are learning to promote their businesses, so you can't keep track of everyone. But I started to kind of take notice of him, and you know, the way it is, I mean, it just is kind of a tip for all of you guys who are on here. The way it is that when you find leaders, like people that are getting results, and you start interacting with them, especially a place like Facebook, and if you're sharing good value and you really look and sound like a leader, it's not going to take long before those leaders, those successful people, are going to start kind of paying attention to you and commenting back on your posts. And suddenly you have this whole interaction going on. And that's kind of what happened with Abdul and I. I mean, when he friended me, I'm assuming you friended me. I really don't send up friends requests on Facebook because I just get a lot. So I'm assuming it was you that friended me and that you probably knew who I was and started connecting with me and all that. And before long, I find myself liking and commenting on Abdul's stuff, because it's just kind of the way it is when you're looking through your news feed. Like, who do you really pay attention to? Well, it's the person who has good value, right? Good posts, good nuggets, right? And of course, the person who's been interacting with your post. And if they're posting something of value, you find yourself inclined to like their post back or put something, you know, a comment. So that's kind of how it started. And suddenly we were like every day just commenting and interacting. And I just saw that he had so much to offer. I saw that, you know, this is a guy who really understands marketing. I could tell through his posts, and very good at engaging with people. And I'll let you share in a minute. I'm not going to speak for you. But just long story short, I had already thought to myself that when I do my next hangout, I want to ask Abdul if he will be, if he would consider being a panelist and share some of the things that he's doing, because it's obviously a guy who's getting results. And before I even got a chance to ask him, there I log on Facebook one day and I see, oh, Abdul just hit L3 with MLSP. And I was not surprised. But that's not why I asked him. I'd even planned to do it before I saw that. But that same day when he hit L3, that's when I sent him a chat and I said, hey, Abdul, will you consider being part of the panel on my next hangout? So it's really cool how it works, you know, with social media and that relationship building. And I think that what I will do is just let Abdul share a little bit more about what he's been doing and what he's currently doing in his business, because I know he's really got the hang on this whole relationship building. And I know you said building on a budget, building with a very small marketing budget is also something that you have kind of specialized in, I would say. So share a little bit more about what you do or what you're doing currently in your business to get results. Will you do that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, my main thing has always been using Facebook, because I've never really had a big budget, at least when starting out. Because I know a lot of people really struggle with duplication. You know, they ain't got the money, so they can't put the money into, you know, PPC or any of the paid forms of marketing. So I kind of try to teach people how to do more Facebook, social media kind of things. And like what you were just saying just now about how we connected. I kind of call that getting on the radar of other leaders.
Yes.
And it's one of the best ways to connect with leaders without even sending them friend requests, or at least getting their attention. Just interact with them, get their attention, and when you do send them a friend request, then they are more open to connecting with you because they kind of trust you already. And it kind of goes the same way when you are trying to connect with anybody on Facebook. One of the biggest problems that people have with Facebook and connecting is, connecting with the right people. How do you send friend requests to these people? How do you send messages to these people where they are actually kind of accepted, or actually talk to you really, rather than ignore you? So that's kind of how we connected as well, wasn't it? Exactly the same way like what you were just saying just now. And that's just one of my things with Facebook really. Is where I try to leverage the free strategies. I've got a whole different ways of doing this. With Facebook, in my sense, it's more about building the audience. It's exactly the same as you would do, with any other marketing, even with paid marketing. Is building your audience first, and then really engaging, interacting with them. And when you do that, they kind of start reciprocating and engaging with you as well. And that's how we get all the likes and comments.
So how do you build your audience specifically?
The simple thing really is just adding more friends. It's exactly the same as email list, but it's on Facebook. So you're adding friends rather than having a capture page maybe. Traditionally, that's what you would do, have a capture page, people opt in. With your friends list on Facebook, all you're doing is adding more people to your list, as in your friends list. And
how do you find those people? Are they like, are you interacting maybe with leaders and you see, oh, here's another person who is interacting, who is a friend of this leader, but I'm not their friend yet. And do you just go from there and send that person a friend request cold, or do you do something else before, or?
And the way I try to do it is the way we did it really. How I connect with you is kind of interact with that person first. I'll find that person. Either they are, maybe a friend of a friend on Facebook. So when I post, they might see that. So they're kind of more open to it. They're not so much, cold anymore. They're more in a warmer circle. So they're more open to connecting then. And then I'll normally just interact with them on their wall or on their posts, or if I get on my news feed. So they kind of know who I am already before I send them a message.
Okay, so there's a little bit of interaction there before you send the friend request.
Absolutely, yeah.
They know who you are.
Yeah, they already know who I am, so they've got that kind of a trust. I've got this little, I can't do a diagram on this, but it's like a diagram. If you can imagine in your head right now, okay, there's 3 circles. You got a cold circle outside, then you've got a warm one in the middle, and then there's a hot one right in the center. So what most people do is they try and pitch people on the cold circle outside, where that person don't really know you, like you, or trust you. So what I say and what I teach is basically get people to move from the outside cold circle to the warm, and then warm to the hot. And in the center, where the hot circle is, where the magic happens really. And you do that by interacting, engaging, building the relationships. All the stuff that we really teach in MLSP about attraction marketing. And it all comes down to that.
Very good. Okay, great. So your strategy is basically to take that person from cold to at least a little bit warm, until you start, and before you even send them the friends request. So that's kind of how you go about building your list. And,
absolutely.
And you probably get a lot of friend requests yourself, I'm sure, too, every single day.
Originally, I never used to, but now I started getting so many of them, and it's mostly because I'm just engaging and interacting with these people. And I'm getting requests from the friends of friends mostly because of that. And that's kind of how that's come together. So it's all from the likes and comments and the shares I get from my audience already, and that is kind of spreading like wildfire, I guess.
Excellent.
That's it.
So do you have like a specific strategy for how to, to taking that person from now a friend and somebody you're interacting with on Facebook to actually making them a customer or a sign up? I mean, is that mostly through, let's say, when you're promoting webinars? Because I know you don't sell on Facebook. At least I haven't seen you posting anything like selling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You bring people to your blog, or do you have any like specific strategy, one-on-one chat, or?
Main thing is really just chatting on Facebook and just
Okay.
building that relationship, really. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really promote any business opportunity or anything like that on Facebook. I kind of treat Facebook as an open book or a photo album, you know, where I post stuff about my family, about my life, you know, holidays, adventures, all that kind of stuff, really to kind of magnetically attract people in. And then once they kind of, you know, feel that they've got a connection already and a relationship, then it's really a matter of just basically pitching them, I guess, you know, just saying to them, you know, if you're interested in so-and-so I'm working on, you know, maybe have a look at that. If you're not, you know, that's cool as well, you know, whatever way you feel. But I guess prospecting is really prospecting. It doesn't matter how you do it. The only difference that I've seen is the relationship and how much they know, like, and trust you. You know, that difference between the cold circle outside and the center circle, which is hot circle, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Because once the trust and the credibility is there, once that is in place, the conversation that leads up to the sale or the sign up, I mean, it can happen a number of different ways. It can be maybe you're promoting a webinar or something on Facebook, and people are paying attention because these people now, they already trust you and like you, and you're credible. They know you have good stuff to offer, so they're paying attention now to the post about the webinar or the training or whatever. Or maybe it could be, I'm just kind of thinking of like different ways that you could go about this, and I'm guessing you're probably doing some of this already. Like this hangout that we're doing right now, obviously this is establishing even more trust and credibility. So I am sure also that some of the people that you are connected with on Facebook, your friends, are probably people who are already leads in your funnel, right? We're also connected. Yeah. So now you're building even more trust and credibility because they're connected to you on Facebook as well as in your sales funnel, getting those follow-up messages and seeing that you have a business or whatever products you have for sale. And then you're obviously letting your leads know, sending an email, letting them know you're doing a hangout or whatever training you may be doing, and also letting people know on Facebook that you're doing a training, right? So it's just kind of like constant, just this relationship building with these people. It's kind of like, you know, it doesn't just happen in one place. It's like on a number of different
be everywhere.
Social networks or you know, other places as well. But really, really, really good stuff. And I think, me personally, I believe, you know, what it comes down to, bottom line, is really your posts, your Facebook posts. Talked extensively about this on my last hangout that I did a couple of weeks ago, and had some other leaders on then that I interviewed on it, and we all agreed that when it comes to, you know, social media, it's about value. It's about sharing stuff that's actually helpful or useful to people. And I talked about the 3 E's. And I don't know if I got this from Bob, and if I got this from Bob, I think I might have heard Bob talk about this sometime. The 3 E's that you want to educate, enlighten, and empower. Sound familiar, Bob?
There's a 4th one too, entertain.
Educate, enlighten, and entertain. What did I say?
Empower, that's right.
Oh, I meant entertain. Well, empower too. Okay, let's say there's 4 then.
They're all good. They're all good.
Enlighten, educate, empower, entertain. Great. So if you can keep those in the forefront of your mind when it comes to content creation, and that's not just social media, it's anything you create, videos, you know, even emails, if you're writing emails, any kind of marketing you're doing, blogging, you want to think about how you can either educate, enlighten, entertain, or empower people, or maybe several of those, you know, at the same time, because that's how you really are attracting people and giving people something that will actually help them. So very, very important, I think, in Facebook posts to be doing that. And that doesn't mean that every single post has to be highly educational, but you know, just kind of think think about what's in it for the person who's reading it. Why would they be interested in reading this post or this update? And yeah, I know, Abdul, you're doing a lot of stuff like you're very good at this whole thing with kind of your family, letting people know you as a family man, which I think is awesome. Of course, we all know Uzma. Am I pronouncing her name right?
You are, yeah.
Yeah, adorable
She's famous
little
on
Uzma.
Facebook.
Who can miss that? I think that's like when you get the most likes, your pictures, when you have Uzma there, because she is just a darling. I know, it's so, but yeah, let people see who you are. Let people see that you are a family man, or you are a mom, you are a grandmother, whatever the case may be. People want to know not just about your business, they want to know that you are a real person and you have a life besides your business. And the social media is like perfect for that, and that's really what you want to do on Facebook and really any other place. So we'll get back to talking more to you, Abdul, in just a moment, and I wanted to go to you, Bob, next. So just jump in there and share whatever you wanted to say.
No,
there.
I just want to make a comment about Abdul. Something that always strikes me about Abdul is his consistency, and that's probably a really great message for people who are watching this. I start my work really early, like around 6 Eastern time. And I look forward every morning. I come on and I jump on Facebook first thing, and the first thing I see every morning is Abdul. And Abdul's been busy at work. He's a few hours ahead of us, so he's been busy at work. But like you said, every day, without fail, pretty much, there's good educational posts in there. There's things about his family. He asks questions. He engages. He does everything right. And just hats off to you, my friend. That's all I can say. Thanks for being part of my morning every day.
Yeah. Great. Have you guys ever met, the two of you, in person?
Not in person.
No.
Not yet.
Soon.
Yeah.
Soon, yeah. Hopefully.
It's you can't avoid that, Can't avoid that.
I do feel like I do feel like his daughter is kind of part of my family too, because I've seen her grow up now. So it's awesome.
Yeah. No, I think we all do. So great. Well, you're pretty active on Facebook yourself, and got lots of really great value there as well. I mean, you have so much posture, Bob. I have to tell you that. I mean, it's like you can tell that this is a leader. This is a leader speaking. When Bob's posting, really, really great posture. I've always noticed that about you, and of course, just for everybody on this training. I mean, hey, if you want to be seen as a leader, you gotta look and sound like a leader. And it really has nothing to do with the results that you have or don't have yet in your business. It has to do with how you see yourself. Any of you, even if you are brand new, you can go on social media and you can do what we are doing, even if you haven't even made your first sale yet. It's nothing to do with that. It has to do with the value you share and how you present yourself. And I'll let Bob share what he's doing, and I know he has some part-time strategies. I know he's eager to share with you all, but I would say, like, if you want the fastest way to learn how to do social media right, let's just keep it to Facebook for right now. Probably everybody here is on Facebook, and that's kind of at least what I major in as far as social media goes. The fastest way to learn how to do Facebook right is to go on there and follow some leaders. Go in and like the fan pages of some of the leaders that are getting results, and friend those leaders as well, and see how do they present themselves, what kind of things do they share, what do they not share, right? And that is the fastest way that I know of personally. This is how I learned before I had any results myself, was just to follow leaders on social media, not to copy them, but to quickly just absorb, kind of get my brain wrapped around how leaders carry themselves on social media. What do they post? How do they respond to comments? This is the fastest way to learn. Everybody kind of got their own style. We don't all do Facebook exactly the same, and you want to develop your style, obviously, but still there are some common things that you will notice once you do that. So that's something I would recommend that you do. And of course, this is, I guess, is a great time to just say, if we aren't friends with you guys on Facebook, for some odd reason you haven't friended us, go ahead and do that. If you and I'll just type in the names of each of us so you can all look us up and you can go in and friend us, and you can easily find our profiles there on Facebook by just typing in our names in our search bars. I'll do that while Bob, I typed that into the chat here, each of our names, while Bob shares a little bit about, well, whatever's on your heart.
Okay, well, I think I'm a little bit of an enigma, Lena. And I'm not sure I'm allowed to say this on a live hangout, but I'll say it anyway. Maybe it's heresy, but I'm a guy who loves my job. I love my career. I love what I've been doing. I've been doing it for 25 years. For the last 20 years, I've been in New York, helping run an in vitro fertilization clinic, help people start a family who are having trouble, and it's very rewarding. It's been a great 20 years, I have to say. But as I got older, as I hit the big 5-0, and I got a little bit past that, I started looking at my life after, like what I want to do after my career, and I just didn't want to, work till 65 and retire, and maybe or maybe not be able to enjoy my retirement depending on my health. So that's why I started a home business about 4 years ago. And I have to admit, for the first 3, I struggled. I did. I was probably the poster boy for shiny object syndrome and bouncing around to this and that. And so for those of you guys who are struggling, sometimes it's just a passage. It's just the process of figuring things out. But along the way, I did figure out a few things, and I was able to work with some leaders who helped show me the way. So that's you talk about faster ways to get success in your business. That's one of the fastest ways I know is to not only get on the radar with a leader, but work with them a little bit in various ways if you can, and just watch them and watch how they handle themselves, watch what they do, watch how they advertise. To me, that's one of the fast tracks. You always hear there's no shortcuts to success, but I don't think that's true. I think there are lots of them, and I think finding a teacher is one of the best. So that would be one of my big tips for the evening is find a teacher. Find someone. And here's the thing about that, Lena, and I think you'll agree with this, is it doesn't have to be the top earners who you want to hook up with. It can be the person 1 or 2 steps above you. If you're trying to hit L1 in MOSP, for example, and you're struggling, go find an L1 leader and see what they did. And that person will have time for you, I'm sure, and help you through it because they just went through it too. So that's been one of the keys to my success in the last year and a half or so, is latching on to some earners, some leaders, and helping them shed some light on what I should do, because I really was all over the place for a while, I have to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's really so true that you're saying. I mean, it comes down to the building all those relationships, and like you said, up and coming leaders as well, not necessarily the person who is winning all the awards and having massive success, because you also don't know if that person who is just like 1 step ahead of you, you don't know what's going to happen over the next few months or the next year. And this is an industry where everything's kind of shifting and things happen, and nobody's become somebody's overnight. And when that person who was 1 step ahead of you 6 months earlier, and that you build a great relationship, and you show that you were a leader as well, and you didn't. You build a relationship with that person, not just for the purpose of taking. I think that's very important, because it is about serving, and it's not just to see what you get if you can get from people, but making yourself useful to them, right? So if you have that kind of relationship, the right relationship with a person, and before you know it, I mean, who knows, a few months down the road, that person may be the one who's on stage all of a sudden, and you're maybe not quite there yet, and that person suddenly has become extremely successful, and they'll remember you. You'll be glad that you stayed in touch with that person and that you have that relationship, even if it's just on Facebook for right now, because now you run into them at an event, and you start talking, and suddenly you're talking about doing something together. I mean, I've seen this happen again and again and again over the years that I've been marketing, and I've been marketing online since 2008, kind of had my breakthrough 2009, I believe it was. But yeah, so and I've seen this so many times. It really is about the relationships, because people want to work with those that they know, like, and trust. And we always talk about this when it comes to prospects, right? That you have to, in order to get a prospect to sign up with you, buy from you, you have to become a person, to be somebody that they know, like, and trust. Right? Attraction marketing, we've heard it a million times, probably all of you have. But the same holds true for those relationships you build with fellow network marketers, or fellow marketers in MLSP or outside of MLSP. The same holds true. It's like it's human psychology. So it works on that level as well. Those relationships that you build with fellow marketers, you never know what's going to happen down the road. In one of those, with one of those connections you established, of course, you're always building connections, not just with one, but with multiple, countless people all the time. And again, this is why live events are so important, because there's nothing like meeting in person, but you just don't know what's going to happen down the road. And if that person that you actually now have a connection with, because you saw the value of building that relationship, if that person may be somebody, you may be in a place where they can help you out, because they may not be in a place to help you out right now, maybe not quite as kind of in a way where they can really help push you to a place where you can have your breakthrough and have success. But 6 months from now or a year from now, they may be. Things happen so quickly and things change, and it's just, I've seen this over the years, time and time and time again, and it always comes back to the relationship. So I don't know if that at least made a little bit of sense, what I was trying to say there. But I just kind of wanted to just agree with you, basically, what you were saying there. And I've seen you do that. It's like everybody knows who Bob Clarke is. Like, I mean, all the leaders, I'm telling you, it's like, hey, you have more leaders, like, seriously, you have more leaders like commenting and liking your posts on Facebook than I really see with a lot of people, okay, than I can really think of too many other people do. So you got something going on there for sure. It's about
yeah, I mean, it's a matter of showing up. It's a matter of, like I said, being consistent and putting out value, like we all do here, and when you put out some stuff that people see the value, like you said, you're going to attract leaders, just like you said before. So it's one of the formulas, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as like building your business part-time, is there anything like specific you want to share there? And I want to mention, you're actually coming out with a product, aren't you, pretty soon?
I am.
Bob's coming out with a product, and this is not a selling webinar. We're not here to sell Bob's product. But gosh, how excited I am to hear that. It's like, because you have just a tremendous, some tremendous value, and obviously so experienced at building your business part-time, which you've been doing basically because you love your job, which I think is really cool. So now you're actually coming out with a product, and it's all about part-time strategies, right? Specific strategies for people who are building their business part-time.
Yeah, I basically took everything that I've learned, and I asked myself, what are like the things that have been holding me back all these years? And really I came down to like 3 things. It was mindset, which was huge, having some self-limiting beliefs about being part-time, things like I'm only part-time, I can't compete. Very self-limiting beliefs that hold you back. So that was number 1. Number 2, of course, was figuring out a way to master your time. I don't say manage, I say master, because I think there's a big difference there. And learning how to fit in your business in the nooks and crannies of your day and make it work for you, whatever your time is like. And they say everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, but I'm not so sure I believe that. 24 hours, yes, but maybe not the same 24 hours. So you have to get smart, and you have to get, you have to kind of get creative sometimes to make it work for you. And then the third thing was, this was a big one, is just figuring out what to do every day. What am I going to do every day to build my business? So you have to come up with some kind of like a daily method of operation. And really those are the 3 things I addressed mostly in my course, because that's what held me back. and I just try to share the solutions that I had and that I've found over the years that have helped me. So I'm excited. You know, I've been thinking about this for probably 2 years now, and finally decided, you know, this is it. I'm going to jump in and do it. And it's been a great process learning, you know, and I'm excited. I'm really excited about it. So thanks for mentioning it. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. It's coming out soon, right?
Yeah. And actually, I just have to finish a video and I'm done. So.
Oh, excellent. Okay, great. All right. Well, let us know on Facebook once that's available.
I will do that. Thanks so much. Thank you.
So is there anything specific that you want to share as far as strategies, tips, like whatever you feel like most pressing?
Well, yeah.
Good nuggets.
Yeah, you know, I'm all about building a list. Because, and you said at the top of the hour, you said, you know, companies come and go, products come and go, everything comes and goes. But your list is there. You know, your list is your most valuable asset, and I think everybody here probably agrees with that. So I really concentrate on that. So what I've been doing is I've been using Facebook to build my list. And the way I've been doing it...
If there's somebody who's maybe doesn't know what a list is, it's basically your list of leads. Okay, when you generate leads, you build a list. It's your list of subscribers, like people subscribe to your emails on your getting your AWeber emails or whatever hosting service you're set up with. But you can also have a list on Facebook. I mean, your network, your friends are your list, right? Or your fans on your fan page. So I just wanted to, didn't mean to interrupt, I just wanted to make sure that it was clear to everyone in case they didn't know what a list was.
Yeah.
Go on.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember, you know, the stores that used to create a list just by going down and you put in your name and phone number for some prize or something, and that's how they built their list. That really was the beginning of a list way back then. So yeah, if a list can be anything, Facebook, it could be an email list, it could be anything. But I've been using Facebook a lot to build my email list. And the way I've been doing it is just creating a training that's something of value, you know, maybe a 20-minute training, something like that. Something that, you know, people would kind of want and need, and I use MLSP trainings for that all the time. I learn and I teach and I put together a training. So I have that training, and then I just basically put a capture page in front of it, which is, you know, if you guys don't know how to do that, if you're an MLSP, we have the resources for that. If you're not, Google it. There's lots of ways to do it as well. So you put a capture page up to get the name and email of people, and then on Facebook I've been running ads with a video. So I'll have a video of myself talking, introducing my training.
So you're actually running ads. You're running ads on Facebook.
I'm running video ads, yeah.
Video ads. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
And it's some of the stuff that we teach in MLSP as well. So so we have some of the most recent stuff on there. And if you don't want to do video, you could just run straight ads right to your capture page and have a training as well. But that's been working really well for me. Because I've been able to basically triple my list in the last few months just doing that, and reasonably cost leads. So when you think about the overall lifetime value of a lead in your funnel, you know, it can be very much bigger. So I don't mind paying $1 or $2 for a lead if it's going to mean on the end that I can make a profit. So
yeah, that's nothing. I mean, $1 or $2 a lead. It's great.
Yeah,
so that's one of your strategies. So running video ads, or anybody doesn't want to do video ads, you can run regular ads. So doing that on Facebook. And what kind of funnel do they go into? Is this like a sales funnel you've set up yourself? Is it one of the MLSP sales funnels, or?
Actually, I'm still in the process of really setting up. Right now, they're going onto my main list, which I email every day. So I will be basically building that relationship up in anticipation of my product coming out. I want to build up the value.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of have been working on this strategy for a few months now, knowing this was coming out. So building up the numbers, building up their trust in me by just, you know, just telling people about this kind of Hangouts, free stuff they can do, you know, anything that people will find of value. People will appreciate that. And so that's kind of my strategy now, you know, building that trust up, and then later, you know, maybe I'll start talking about the product that I have coming out. So.
Right, so you are building, because you're building that trust now and building that relationship with your list by just giving value on pretty much a daily basis to these leads that you are generating with your Facebook ads, and you are basically earning the right to sell to them. You're not selling right now, but you are building their relationships with them, giving that value so that when you come out with your product, people are already going to be pre-sold on it because they trust and believe Bob, right?
Well, at least they're more likely to take a look, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, not every single person is going to buy. We know it comes down to percentages and all of that, right. But yeah, that's how you do it. Excellent, very good. And of course, you can do this to bring people into MLSP as well, or to sell any other product. So I think Facebook is an awesome marketing platform. It really is. So whether you want to run ads like Bob is doing, or do kind of more of the free type of marketing that Abdul's been doing and having such great results with, or a combination of the two, I think that might be a place to start. For somebody, for really anybody here on the Hangout who may not really quite have decided on their marketing method yet, but it's not, and Bob kind of mentioned this a few moments ago, it doesn't benefit you to jump around from one thing to another, like Bob did for a while, he said, and I did the same thing when I was new, was just always jumping onto something new. So if you are working on something that you have decided is going to be your marketing strategy, and don't just kind of switch over to Facebook after this webinar just because we talked about it, unless you can do some add-on to what you are already doing. It's very, very important, I always say, to give a marketing strategy enough time to work. And I always say you got to give it, I used to say 90 days, but it's probably more than that. I think 90 days, maybe if you are working your business full-time, working really totally giving it your all, maybe 90 days you'll know enough about your results to know whether this is something that's going to be a long-term strategy for you or not. But I think generally it takes a little bit longer than that. And choose one strategy and stick with it and give it enough time. I can't even, I can't just stress that enough, how important that is. But you know what? If you have already made the mistake that you have dabbled in too many things and tried a million different things and not gotten the results from that, that's great experience. And that also actually makes you more valuable in the marketplace. I kind of had an aha moment myself back in my business right around, well, it was before I really had my breakthrough. I think this was like back in 2009, before I really started getting results. And I was frustrated because I had tried so many things that didn't work, because I was always jumping from one thing to the next. And then I had a big light bulb moment where I realized that it wasn't all for nothing, that it actually made me more valuable in the marketplace because I had been honing my skill sets. And I actually added that in the bio section on my blog, where I mentioned that I have done this and this, and I would mention like all the different things that I had tested. I think I used the word tested. You want to say you have tried. You want to say you tested, right? And that was actually that was really, really good. It made me look and sound just a lot more like a leader, and made me more valuable in the marketplace. And I could help those team members that I would bring in then, as my business started to, my results, I started to get the results and things started to happen, and I started building a team. I was able to better advise my team members on what to do because I had that experience and could help them get results sooner, which again, of course, helped me, right? Residual income, right? That's why we build teams. So it's not for nothing. I mean, it's not all for nothing if you have been there and dabbled too much, but stick to one strategy. And if you are already doing Facebook, or maybe you are in a place where you are maybe haven't quite decided on your strategy, or it's time for you to test something new, I think Facebook would be a great place to start. It really is a wonderful place to build relationships, generate leads, and get sales. Just be patient and consistent. That word is so important that you used there about Abdul and his consistency, which you are as well, Bob. You really are very consistent. You are. We'll come back to you in a minute. I want to make sure that you guys get to share whatever nuggets you have planned to share tonight. We don't want to miss anything. But I'm going to go real quick to Lanacia. I'm going to be practicing your name now until I see you at Live the Dream this coming weekend, and I'm going to have it perfectly pronounced. I'm going to pronounce it perfectly when I see you. And see, look, Lanacia, I got your name. I got your name right. Eventually. Oh, it's so good to see you, girl.
Nice to see you too.
Can't wait to give you a hug this weekend.
Yeah, it's been about maybe 4 or 5 months since we've seen each other.
Yeah, I think June. Yeah, June was when we saw each other in Vegas.
Yeah.
So great. So you'll be there with your hubby, Steven.
Yep.
Yeah. You're going to be speaking for the first time, which is very exciting.
Yes.
Excellent. What are you going to be speaking about?
We're going to be talking on YouTube and Facebook, and because that's been our strategy, that's what has helped us grow our business. And I mean, when we first started, we were kind of like Abdul. We didn't really have the funds or the resources to really promote anything. And from what we learned from MLSP, it's that branding yourself. It's all about letting people get to know, like, and trust you. So we started with YouTube. We already had a camcorder. Of course, we had cell phones. And it's free to put a video on YouTube. So we put it on there, and then we start thinking, hey, what's a good way to get an audience? Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook. And so we just started. We would do a video, just about anything. Why we joined a company. Why we, maybe our first check. Or maybe we saw something on TV and it reminded us of business and we wanted to just put it out there, just some nugget. And that's how we build our brand and our business, just by doing that and sharing it on Facebook, because everyone will see it. So that really helped us a lot. And by doing that, we still have those videos on YouTube, and there are still people watching those videos to this day. So it's a really good strategy.
So that took you all the way to L4, a combination of Facebook and video marketing. Do you still do videos?
Yes, we do them all the time. I mean, just everyday life type of things. Or one big hit for us was we were watching Through the Wormhole with Morgan Freeman, and he was talking about the law of averages. And it just resonated, because with that, it's all about with your marketing. You have to go through a lot of people if you're trying to build your business to get those yeses. What is the old saying? You have to get 100 no's before you get one yes. And a lot of people don't really understand that mentality. They don't understand that just because I'm in a business, they're just going to sign up because I'm in the business. They have to know you, like everyone said on the panel. And we just did a video about our thoughts about the law of averages and marketing, and I mean that just really, really just skyrocketed, because it was nothing but pure value, and it drew our audience even more.
Exactly. So you said you still do videos. Do you shoot videos every single day, or?
Not every day. I wish we could, but not every day. Just whenever something pops into our mind. Maybe we went out. As a matter of fact, yesterday we were at Chipotle just getting something to eat. We were just talking, and we were like, "Hey, let's do a video. Just talk about why we love doing our business, because this is some things that we can do." Or we went to visit Steve's mom, and let's do a video about that, because we have the freedom to do that, and because we're internet marketers, we have the time freedom to do that. And just putting something like that, as simple as that, online it's value. You're not selling anything. You're just providing some type of value, and it's something that people can relate to, because maybe they have a disabled mom, or maybe they like Chipotle, and you're at Chipotle. So it's just those little small, quick videos. Just whenever we think about it, or just whenever something comes to our mind, we just put a video and put it out there.
It's like a little slice of life, right?
Yes, exactly.
Helping people relate to you and connect with you, and just see that you are real people just
Right.
like you go to AAA just like they do, and whatever else that you do. So so do you shoot do you shoot them outdoors? Like when you talk about these things, do you shoot it while you're at AAA or outside, or you wait till you come home and sit down in your home office and shoot it, or how do you do it?
We usually have our camera with us or our cell phone, so it just depends on when we come up with an idea, or just when something pops into our mind. Or maybe Steve and I, we work our business together, and we're always talking and communicating about different things in the business. So maybe we're in a room and we're talking about, maybe someone called and they say, I'm having trouble getting leads. And we're just talking about that subject. Maybe later on that night, we may do a formal video where we sit down, set the camera up, and kind of talk about it. Or maybe we're just outside by the pool and we're just talking about whatever, kind of like Seinfeld. A lot of people watch Seinfeld, they just talked about nothing, just everyday life. And if we're in that situation, then we'll just pop out the camera, just let it record while we're just talking. So it depends on the situation where we're talking about and what we're doing.
Right, but I'm assuming there's still value there. There's some lesson or something that you are sharing. There's something that inspires people or makes them laugh or something.
Yes.
Right? Keeping those 4 E's in mind that we talked about earlier. You want to, with all your content, you want to either empower, enlighten, educate, or entertain.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So whatever we can do to relate to business, maybe we saw a movie, or we could talk to someone and they're struggling through something, and we said something to them that really resonated, and we'll say, hey, let's just go ahead and put this in a video, because if they ask this question, there are probably plenty other people out there who have that same question. So let's put this out there so people can see it, and then they can get value from that as well.
Excellent, excellent. So you're actually taking questions that you are getting from prospects, and you are answering those in your videos.
Yes.
Very, very
also
good.
do webinars too. That's a good way. We'll say, hey, we're doing a webinar, and people will come on because that's a video. Webinar is a video. And they'll ask questions, and we'll just throw that whole webinar video on YouTube and then share it on Facebook. So that's another great way of, if you don't want to get in front of a camera or try to do something formal, just go hang out, just say, hey, what questions do you have about marketing? Or if you're new to marketing, you can just talk about what you're going through, because that's something that they can relate.
Yeah, exactly. And something like what we're doing right now, a hangout like this, anybody can do it.
Yes.
You can sign up with get an account with Google Hangout and start doing these webinars.
Yeah.
Like invite your leads if you already are generating leads, or whenever you start doing it, and post about it on Facebook or Twitter. I mean, like whatever social media platforms that you are using. You want to do that. You want to announce it, and you want to really, what you're doing then is putting on your leader hat. Even if your lead list is small, it doesn't matter. You just start. You start early on. Put on your leader hat. Take on that role of a leader, and just get your feet wet. Don't worry if you don't do it perfectly the first time. None of us do, and we never get it perfect, of course. And it's not about that. It's just about helping and being the leader, taking on that role. And the sooner you can do that, the better. The sooner you can do it, the better. Because and you find that it's so fun, and you just want to do more of it.
Yeah, and you never know what value you have. Like you said, you tested a lot of different strategies that didn't work. So that's something of value that you can bring to someone else. You say, hey, I tried this way. This didn't work for me. But somebody can take that same information and make it work for them. So you never know what value that you have that you can share with the world, and just make sure you just put it out there and just try to help any and everybody that you can.
Yeah, you never. There's always somebody who knows less than you do. Then even if you are new, it's about learning things and passing them on. Then learn something new and pass that on, and always be doing that constantly. I just wanted to just respond to what Victor is saying here in the chat, that it takes time to build relationships. And that is true that it does, but you will see as you build your online presence, over months and maybe the course of a few years, and I'm speaking from my own experience and know this is the same for anybody who's getting results as a leader and who's been doing this for a little while, is that your internet presence, it expands. By that I mean is that the content that you have online, it builds and builds and builds and builds over time when you stay consistent. The things that pop up on Google when people go and search on your name, which they do, they really do, trust me, your prospects do. The things that, more and more search results, right? As you're building your blog, if that's what you're doing for your strategy, or you're putting more and more videos out there, you're building your following on the social networks, all of these different things, they help build trust and credibility with your prospects beforehand, so that you can, so that relationship building doesn't necessarily have to take that long. It will take longer in the beginning, but as people see you more and more all over the place, and they kind of see your face and your name, and they see that you have great content and great value, and they start to trust you, that relationship building can go very quickly. That's when you kind of start your business gradually becomes more automated. And I don't mean by that it's hands off, but that's kind of how you start getting sign-ups and sales without you having to pick up the phone, because your prospects already know who you are, they've seen your videos, they followed you on Facebook for a few weeks or a few months or whatever, a few days. But I think like the closest that you get to automation, that you can get to automation in your business, is to have a strong online presence that you get through videos and or social media and or blogging. Those have always been my big three. Those have been my big three. So excellent, really good stuff. So anything else that you wanted to share there, Lanacia? Oh, I'm so bad. I am so bad.
I would say if you can do a video, I would say do a video.
Mm-hmm.
Because with us, and I'm pretty sure everybody on the panel can attest to this, when you're doing video, people get a chance to really see you. They really get a chance to see your personality and your mannerisms and everything. And so with us, we would see people like different events, and they say, I feel like I already know you. I watch all your videos, and I feel like you're a part of my family, and I just can't believe I'm actually seeing you in person. It seems like we've met before, but I know we haven't, just because of the videos. And that's a great testament, and it's a video online will stand the test of time, because from the first video that Steve did, man, that was 2 years ago, people are still viewing that video, and we still get compliments and questions and just different comments from that first video. And it can help with the automation of your business. Now, it does take time, and it does take some consistency with that. You can't just do one video and be done. You have to do multiple videos. Just like with Abdul and with Bob, they have consistency with their Facebook posts. They're always interacting. They're always being seen, and you want to do the same way with your videos.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And I always say to leverage your content.
Yep.
Which, you create a piece of content, maybe it's a video, then also think about how you can take that same content that you came up with, maybe turn it into a blog post, or take little snippets of the content and use it on Facebook,
yep.
Right? Or in your tweets, or whatever you do for your marketing. So you're always thinking of how you can get that content out there in different forms. Some people like to watch videos, other people like to read. So you're always kind of thinking along those lines. How can I share this particular value that I have, or this particular, gosh, what is the word? Method, marketing tip, whatever it is that you're wanting to share. How can I share it in as many different formats as possible, and on as many different marketing platforms as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So always keep that in mind. So very good, great. Thank you so much. That's excellent stuff. Can't wait to hear you guys speak this weekend. It's going to be awesome. Very good. So let's go back to Abdul. I just want to, we're not going to keep staying on here for too much longer, but I want to make sure that you guys really get to share anything that's on your hearts, anything you really want the attendees to hear. So just talk. Share what you want to share. Anything that I missed, anything I forgot to ask you, Abdul, anything that's working for you. Just go ahead.
Absolutely, Lena. I mean, first of all, what you said about people failing, people always fail. And the thing I say is, unless you failed, you've not evolved. So you're at that same spot until you fail, you learn something, you've evolved. So yeah, failing is just a natural part of things. So the big key, I guess, really is to not give up. That's it. Fail till you succeed. And that's one of the biggest things for me, really, when I started out, because I've been, in the profession now for about 14 years, but a lot of that was just failure, until, in fact, just joining MLSP back in about 2011, and that's where I had my biggest breakthroughs, just by joining MLSP, learning the whole attraction marketing thing, and just learning all these things. So people on this webinar right now who are part of MLSP, you guys are absolutely in the right place, and those who are not, you should definitely check it out. You owe it to yourself. If you're failing right now, or if you're even having the tiny bits of successes, then it could be that next step, the next level you want to take, like it was for me and a lot of people. So that's one of the things that I will definitely recommend. Another thing I want to quickly share on the Facebook is a kind of a little concept that I've come up with, which is called AIR. This AIR, which basically stands for Audience Interaction and Relationships. Now I see a ton of people on Facebook who post a lot of valuable stuff. They post pictures, they try and build that kind of rapport online, but the problem they have is they've got no interaction, they've got no engagement, and they've got no audience. Mm-hmm. So without an audience, it's kind of useless, to be honest, without being horrible. Unless you've got somebody seeing your stuff, it's kind of pointless. So that is one of the things you want to do. You want to build your audience, and the easiest way to do that is go out there and send out friend requests. Okay. In fact, with friend requests, the biggest problem is Facebook jail. So what I tend to do myself is I send messages instead. And I try to I kind of give you a blueprint, I guess, but what I try to do is I try to do about 25 messages a day minimum. Okay, I could do more than that, but the whole idea and the key here is you want to spread those messages out. The way Facebook kind of puts you in jail is if you do it too quickly. So you don't want to do it, don't want to whiz through that and do it in 1 hour. You want to spread it throughout the day.
They disable your account? Is that what Facebook jail is?
Facebook jail is basically they'll stop you doing a certain activity. If you do too many comments, in one go, they'll stop you doing that. Or if you do too many likes, they'll ban you and stuff like that. Too many messages, they'll ban you for that. Everybody goes through it. I've been through it myself before. I understood all this kind of stuff. So until I learned this, I've been in Facebook jail. I admit it, I'm guilty. I bet you Bob has, and I bet you Lanacia has. We've all been there. So that's one.
They put you in timeout, right?
Yeah, exactly, Bob. Yeah. So that is one of the things I learned is just spread it out. That's the key, really. It's not so much the quantity you do. It's more about how much you spread it out. That's it. That's the biggest difference between going to Facebook jail and not going to it. So that's an audience, interaction, relationship. Build your audience, interact with that audience, build relationships with that audience, and then afterward, over time, maybe you can pitch something to them. Not in a pitchy kind of way, but more like recommending as a advisor or a leader, really. But,
very good.
That's it.
I like that. AIR.
Yeah, AIR.
AIR.
Yeah.
Which stands again for?
Audience, interaction, and relationships.
Audience, interaction, and relationships. And I think the best thing that the attendees can do is add Abdul as a friend on Facebook and see how he does it. All
Go
right?
ahead,
That's
guys.
what I would recommend. Okay, you see the name there in the chat. You'll see all of our names there. You know who we are. So that's the best way to learn, I think. See what people are doing. I certainly noticed, that Abdul was doing something really good there. So excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate that, Abdul, and congrats again on your very recent L3 leadership
Thank you,
rank
thank you, thank you very much.
advancements. Excellent. Lots more to come from you, I'm sure. So, anything else, Abdul? Did you?
I can share another concept with you. It's called the beer concept. Goes
Yeah.
hand in hand with A, which is branding, exposure, edification, and recognition. And I kind of came up with this basically through connecting with Diane, to be honest. That was one of the very first leaders I connected with, Diane Hockman. And what I learned was, if you have 4 of these things, it's kind of a shortcut, I guess, as far as getting to the top. You get the branding, people start recognizing you, so you get edification from leaders such as like yourself right now, what we're doing, and Diane, who was probably one of the first people to edify me on a live webinar. You get your exposure, and then you get recognition. So more of these things you have, the higher you can go in your business or in your exposure, really. And get opportunities like this, get on webinars or get on trainings with other leaders, get to hang out with them, go to events. All these different things really, I guess, in the eyes of your leads and your prospects, kind of puts you above everybody else in that sense. You're at a higher level. So they recognize you as a leader by just doing that beer concept.
Right. When you do something great, you have value, and people are noticing, and leaders start noticing, and you are making yourself useful, I think is very important. Building that, again, not going to the leaders looking to what you can get, but rather how you can serve them. Kind of the opposite of what most people are doing. And you have that, your mindset in the right place, and you are consistent, and you are sharing value. Leaders will start to take notice, and like you're saying, they will start to edify you, and it's amazing what that really does. What they can do for your business once you're kind of starting to get a little bit of recognition, and then it just kind of snowballs. That recognition helps you get even more results, because now people are seeing you more and more as a leader because you are being edified, and now suddenly you are making good money in your business.
It gives you a big mind shift as well, because when you're getting edified, it's like, somebody mentioned me, that is a big deal. And it really kind of catapults your mindset to the top as well. And you won't want to do more then, rather than just quit and give up because nobody's noticing you.
Yeah, it definitely helps your mindset for sure when that happens. And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I actually had one leader who was very instrumental in edifying me when I started out back in 2000. I think it was 2008. I think it was 2008, 2009. And that was a gentleman by the name of Mike Dillard, who is going to be at Live the Dream. I'm sure many of you have heard of Mike Dillard. He's kind of considered the godfather of attraction marketing. And it was actually through Mike Dillard's course called Magnetic Sponsoring, I'm sure most people have heard of, that I learned attraction marketing. I came out of a struggling home business where I was spending more than I was making, and thought to myself, there has to be a better way. I think it was like Christmas 2007 that I stumbled upon the magnetic sponsoring video online that Mike Dillard put out there, and I was like, wow, this is it. These are my answers. There's a different way to build your business. It's not about pitching and selling. It hasn't worked for me so far, and I got to do something different, and this seems to be just make complete sense to me. And I actually started kind of building a relationship a little bit with Mike Dillard. It was just through his online community that he had at the time, which was called Magnetic Sponsoring. And it was kind of funny how it happened because I also started running into Mike at marketing events. And I really, tried not to be that person who was just like clinging to him and asking for help. And, I really just kind of put on my leader hat and just kind of started talking to him a little bit. And on his magnetic sponsoring site, that online community had at the time, I was always just sharing value and just posting good content. And I started building this relationship with Mike Dillard, and he actually incorporated my story in one of his emails. One of his emails that, I don't know how many subscribers. You may remember that, Bob. Do you remember that at all?
I think I do. I talk about massive exposure, right?
That was massive exposure. So that was, I don't know how many thousands upon thousands of people that went out to. But that would not have happened had I not done my part. It was really about me sharing value and kind of relating to Mike the right way, not going up to him at events and just asking for a handout, but really just when I did talk to him at the event, he already knew who I was, because I was sharing value and posting good things, good content in his online community that he had at that time. So it's really fun. I haven't seen Mike in a few years now, and he's kind of been out of the online marketing world for a while, and he came back, and it's going to be it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun for me to see him at Live the Dream now this coming weekend. It's going to be great. So that just kind of came to mind when you were talking about that, being edified by leaders and how that can help you, and it definitely did help me, and I got some great exposure from just that little bit of a relationship that I built with Mike very early on in my business. That was one of several things that I did that that helped. So Bob, any closing thoughts? Anything you want to share here that to help the attendees?
Sure. I'll speak to the part-time marketers in the audience, because that's who I know best, and I think there are probably quite a few of them out there. And we talked a little bit about mindset and how important that was, and that's true across the board for any kind of marketer. But I think for part-time marketers, there's some special maybe shifts you need to make to really get through it and to start really getting some results. So let me give people like 3 of the top ones that helped me, and maybe that'll help somebody else. Number 1 is, until you can fire your boss, love your boss. And what I mean by that is, your boss, at least to me, represents. I mean, my boss, he's not listening, so I can say he's not great. He's tough, and sometimes I don't want to, go out drink with him or something or nothing like that. But, your boss represents, at least for me, the way that you can take care of the rest of your life while you're building your dream. So the way you can pay your bills, the way you can take care of your family. All those things that need to get done while you're working on your dream business, while you're working through the process of it, because it is a journey, and it does take time. The flash in the pans out there are not flash in the pans. They've been working for years to get where they're going, and everybody has a story. So while you're working, while you're crafting your own story, love your boss, because your boss is helping you pay the bills and take care of your family. So that's the first one that helped me a lot. The second one is, and we talked a little bit about this with Mark Harbert a couple weeks ago, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I think in a job, your mistakes are very bad. There's always a bad connotation to making a mistake in a job. Your boss will come down on you, maybe you get fired, whatever. But in a business, in marketing, you have to make mistakes. Like Abdul said, it's a process. You have to fail sometimes to move forward. Yeah. So don't be afraid to make those mistakes. Get out there. Just don't dip your feet in, jump in, and make those mistakes. Like you said, Lena, it all becomes part of your story and adds to your value, because now you know what not to do sometimes, right? It's sometimes more valuable than what to do. And then the third thing I would say is, push yourself, but don't compete with anyone. I used to be really bad at trying to compete with all the full-time marketers out there, and I put a lot of stress and pressure on myself trying to compete. And then some wise person told me that, your story is your story, and your process is your process, and don't compete with anybody else. And that can be hard, because it's a little bit natural. especially if you have a little bit of alpha going on. You know, you're competing sometimes, and you want to compete. You want to compete with other people, but just try to keep in the back of your mind that this is your journey.
Yeah.
And it's nobody else's. And you know, you may not be able to compete time-wise with a full-time marketer or whatever, or maybe even results-wise, but you are where you're supposed to be right now in your journey. And the important thing, as Abdul said, is just keep going. You know, never stop, because that's the key to it all, is just being in a game long enough to reap the rewards.
Yeah, and everybody has a different journey, and I think so many times you hear of the people that kind of look like overnight successes, and here you are maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years into it, and you haven't made it yet, and you're thinking, what's wrong with me? And you know, how come these people are getting so quick results? But a lot of the time, what you don't realize is that these people may have worked with a different company or in a similar, you know, in a similar business or doing something else that has prepared them to, you know, come in and start with this company and become so-called overnight successes, right? And you don't really know what led up to that point. You don't really know all the struggle and sweat and tears that, you know, came prior to their apparent overnight success. I mean, there's so often that happens. So I was by no means an overnight success. I had pretty quick success with the company where I became a top earner, where I started getting results, where I finally started getting results back in 2009, the company that you and I, Bob, were both with at the time. But prior to that, I had been working for years, doing several years at least. I don't say years, it sounds like, you know, decades, but, you know, several years where I had actually been failing miserably with another company that I was with. It really is just, I think this whole thing about loving your boss, it comes down to attitude, right? Having an attitude of gratitude. Because people see that. They see that, you know, it comes across in your voice, in your facial expressions, even in the way you write, you know, your mindset, it comes through in everything that you do. And if you can be that positive person who's, you know, finding, who's thankful and just, you have that right mindset, that right attitude, it will come through. And you will help you attract business. It really will. Nobody wants to work with a, you know, with a grumpy person, no matter how good they are, right? If you're a cranky, grumpy person, who wants to work with them, right?
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that helps me a lot, Lena, is the phrase "just for now."
Yeah.
Just for now. I can put up with anything just for now. I can put up with a boss I don't like. I can put up with a job I hate. I can put up with anything, as long as I know it's just for now. And when you go in it with that attitude, like you said, it changes your approach, because you just say, okay, I can do this for now because I know what's coming later, and it's much bigger and better than what I have now. So that might help people as well, is the phrase "just for now."
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Just for now. So yeah, it's a good phrase. Excellent. Thank you very much, Bob. I really appreciate that. Lanacia. Okay. You would think that I'm kidding now, that I still haven't gotten your name, but
no, you're doing good. You pronounced it correctly.
I'm good. Okay, good. It's like ask my friends. I have like some certain peculiarities that are like, I'm so like, I can get so stuck on certain things, and sometimes like pronouncing names that I don't hear every day. You know, they can. I can just. I'm so goofy. So, but I think I finally got it. I think I finally Lanacia. Are we gonna laugh about it this weekend when I see you? You're gonna laugh about it. So, anything last thoughts that you wanted to share?
I'm gonna kind of echo what Abdul and Bob talked about, because for Steve and I, we've been doing network marketing, affiliate marketing, all that stuff since the early 2000s. But within the past 2 years, when we've had success where we can do this full time and work from home. So people have to realize you have to have the right mindset, and you cannot give up. Because if we would have given up a long time ago, we wouldn't be in the position that we are right now. So you have to have a strong why, and you have to have the right positive mindset that'll take you through all of that. Because we failed in many, many different businesses, and when we found MLSP, we had some type of knowledge, but it just clicked for us. And because we had that, I know this is going to work, this is going to happen, I have that assurance in myself, I have that belief in myself that we knew was going to happen. And finally, MLSP came. And it just changed our lives totally. But if we didn't have that right mindset, like I said before, we wouldn't be here where we are today. There is no secret sauce. There's none of that. It's all about you and your mindset and actually putting into work anything that you learn. Try it out. If you fail, oh, well, there's something I learned that doesn't work. Well, maybe let me try it this way and see if that works. Okay, that doesn't work. Let me try it this way. You just have to keep trying.
Yeah.
What works for me may not work for you. What works for Abdul may not work for you. What works for Bob may not work for you. You have to find your own path.
Right.
So keep that mindset and don't give up.
Excellent. Yeah. Keep at it until it clicks.
Yep.
Right. Finding that tool or that strategy, right, that is going to work for you. So.
And the belief in yourself too.
What's that?
And that belief within yourself. You have to have that in order for anything to work for you.
And that is why it's so important, right, to surround yourself with like-minded people, you know, online and offline as well, going to events, building relationships, so you can get that positive reinforcement. Absolutely. If anybody was on this live chat or on this live webinar, or maybe you are watching the replay, and you haven't taken your test drive of MLSP, you owe it to yourself. Just go back to whatever email where you got the invite to this training and take your risk-free test drive of MLSP. Again, it's an attraction marketing training platform where you learn professional marketing, where you are equipped, where you're given the tools and the strategies that will help you become valuable in the marketplace. And you have to become valuable in the marketplace if people are going to want to work with you. It's like any other work, no different. Being a marketer is no different. You got to have something to offer. And that's how people become attracted to you, not because they're looking for your business, because they're looking for a leader, right? It's all about the leadership and the value, the solutions, the help that you can offer people. That's what's going to make the difference, and that's what you learn here at MLSP. So friend us all on Facebook so you can learn from us, connect with us, so we can help you. Okay, you know our names. You can look us up there. Does anybody have anything here you wanted to share? Anything at all before we wrap up this training?
I'll say one thing. For those of you guys that are going to live the dream this weekend, something that really helps Steve and I get a lot of good exposure is if you see a leader, someone you admire and you follow them, ask them to do a video. Do an interview. Say, hey, can I just have maybe 1 or 2 minutes of your time just to do a quick interview, and they'll remember you for that. Oh, that's the person that did the interviewed me last time. And they'll remember your name, and it's a good way to get exposure. And it gives a lot of value, too.
Exactly. That is so true. Great tip. You're leveraging really the reputation of that leader before you have one of your own. And pictures, too. I mean, pictures with leaders. You know, it's success by association. The more your prospects see you hanging out with leaders, seeing those pictures and you know, in emails, on social media, the more they're going to start to see you as one of them. Start to see you as that leader that they're going to work with. Simply because if you hang out with leaders, hey, you got to be a leader, right? That's really one thing that I was always big on, just getting pictures and videos with leaders. So great tip there, Lanacia. All right. So bad. So great. I don't know if there's nothing else here. If everything's been said and done, I think we've gone like for an hour and a half. We still have a lot of people with us. You guys are awesome for hanging out with us for so long. I can tell you are eager to learn. And Oh, I think we got Steven there. Oh, great.
Hey.
Awesome. Hey, how are you? Good to see
What's
you.
going on?
Awesome. So glad you could jump in there. We're just about to wrap up. So we're going to see you live here in a few days, Steven, right?
Yep, absolutely. Can't wait.
Absolutely. So any of you attendees, webinar attendees, you're coming to Live the Dream this weekend, make sure you come up to us and say hi. Take your pictures with us so you can use that. Ask questions. Don't be shy. Any other leaders you see, anybody you see that you know are getting results, just step out of your comfort zone, even if you are, maybe the shy type. Don't hesitate. This is your chance to get your questions answered, so you can take the answers you're getting and take them back home and implement them in your businesses, and really start growing your businesses and start getting results. So very good. So I think that this is it. Do we have any burning questions from the attendees? Anything at all real quick here before we wrap up? Or are we good? If we don't see any questions pop up here in the chat within the next 30 seconds or so, I think we're going to call it a night. All right, I think we are good. Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you so much, all three of you. Nice to see you, Steven, too. You could pop up there and say hi at the last minute. It was great to see your face. And thank you so much once again, you guys. You are awesome. We all learned so much today, I think. And just great hearing from you guys. And hopefully we can do a training again together very soon. It's been really great. And thank you once again for your leadership and for the great friends that you are. You really are.
Thank you. Thanks, Lena. Thanks for putting it together.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight.
See you guys this weekend.
Yep. See you, Steve.
Thanks.